The first lesson that we'll look at is that we move towards what we think about. If you like my little helper, his name is Chicken Noodle. If you can just leave hearts for him in the comments, he will appreciate that a lot. So we move towards what we think about. If you think about a new car that you would like to own, let's just as an example say that is a Toyota Corolla, and you've been diligently saving, and you know you've got the right image in your mind of exactly how it should look. As you drive your old car on the highway, you will be amazed to just start seeing one Toyota after the other. So you do move towards what you think about, because you're thinking about your new car. Every second or third one is a Toyota. The thing is, it's always been like that. The only thing that has changed is your focus and your awareness. You're more aware of a Toyota as a brand, and your focus have shifted. The second lesson that I would like to talk about is comfort zones. Now, comfort zones will really hold you back in life. When you are in your perfect little bubble and you feel okay about a lot of things, like you get up in the morning, you go to work, you have your morning coffee, you've got all those habits that you think is working for you, and then in that perfect bubble there will not be any change because it is too comfortable in there. Now, the idea, look back at each and every time in your life that you have dramatically changed from one state to the other. Think back of the fear that you had. Think back of the self-doubt that went with that change. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you went out of your comfortable bubble, you come out there like an embryo being born. And when you are out, you are vulnerable. You are vulnerable to the self-doubt attack that you are causing yourself. So much so that you feel so uncomfortable that you just want to go back. And sometimes we do. We go back and then we go on a bit, we go back and we go on a bit. And that's how we grow, because we widen that circle as we go. It's important to realize, though, that your comfort zone will leave you in your jail. And it's so crucially important to go through the correct steps to get out of that jail. There's a lot of videos on this channel about that. The other lesson that I would like to talk about in life is that we need to surround ourselves with like-minded, positive people. When I was in the military, I ran into a lot of negative people. In South Africa we had compulsory military service, and in that kind of environment, because people are forced to actually be there, it's just chaos and negativity, and it's actually quite sad to see. And again, in that environment there wasn't a lot of growth because of the continuous negativity. Now, if you can, in whatever venture you are in, and in whatever thing that you want to make successful, remember to look for positive mindset people within whatever that is, because they are the people that will excel you to go further in that venture. Another example, my first video was catastrophic. I mean, I was so out of my comfort zone, firstly to begin with, that it was laughable. I wasn't used to the camera, and there was a lot of other stuff. Now, just coming back to those positive people, they will really assist you, and they will talk to you in a positive manner about things that you may be doing wrong, which is important because we all need self-insight to actually grow. That leads me into exactly that. The other lesson that I learned much later in life was to look in, do not look out. Whenever we look out, we see social media, we see a lot of differing opinions, we see a lot of negativity, we even see a lot of war. Now, none of that would actually be good for you. It is necessary to really start looking inside and to refocus so that you can see where you are and where you want to go to. Now, there are techniques to actually do that, and again on the channel you'll find those. Once you get to a portion where you say, okay, I had this old belief that didn't serve me well, I had this old habit, whatever it was holding you back. As soon as you get self-insight, you can tell yourself, okay, it was that held me back. Now you know what the problem is, and it's so much easier to actually change. So that self-insight, it's important. So whatever you can do to look inside, do so. Question your motives, question your opinions, question your truth. Always question, why do I feel like this about this situation? And really go in and see where those roots come from. That will help you a lot. The other thing I want to talk about is that you need to plan your escape. If you find yourself in a corporate job that's going nowhere, if you find yourself in life that you're really stuck and you don't know what to do because everything is boring and everything is mundane, and that has now become your life, do not despair, because you can literally sit down and say, okay, where am I and what's going on? Why do I have these feelings? And again, going back to look inside. Question all of those and then say, okay, this gives me an idea of what I want to change. Plan your escape. Then you need to start focusing on that new image. How does it look outside of your jail? Because if this is jail, how does freedom look? And through the process of affirmations, you will go from here, you will unlock yourself, you'll get out of your jail into that image that you hold firm, that new image of you. Another important lesson in life to learn is that we need to start with the end in mind. Now again, if you want to go from here, your old self, into your new self, you need to start over there. You need to, as I said, plan your escape, sit down and look inside to find out exactly what it is that you want to change. If you want to become a better father, a better mother, you need to hold the image here of what that looks like. You need to tell yourself, I am a wonderful husband to my wife. I feel ecstatic that I'm such a great husband to my spouse. As soon as you do that, you will take that image and put it in here so that you can cognitively change. You will literally do those affirmations to take you from the old into that new you. The other thing that's crucially important that we have to always consider is the whole question of rubbish in and rubbish out. This happens a lot in the coding world, where PC and computer people will tell you, once you start putting rubbish in to a processing unit, that is exactly what you will get out. Rubbish in, process, rubbish out. Now, it's the same with us. As soon as we put rubbish in, we go process, 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 and we go rubbish out. So again, nothing much will change. In fact, it will become worse. So that rubbish in that I'm talking about is your self-talk. How are you talking to yourself? Are you down on yourself all the time? Are you telling yourself, I feel so miserable again today, what's going on? Why am I so sad? Why can't I just get out of this? The more you do that, the more I'm here to tell you, you are right. Every time that you tell yourself that you're miserable, you are right. That's the other lesson. You create you. You create everything about you, your habits, your beliefs, everything that is you is your fault because it is your creation. Now, back to self-talk. It is quite easy to actually change that self-talk. Do the affirmations. Replace the negative self-talk with positive affirmations. And you will see amazing growth. As soon as you get out of that habit of putting yourself down, you will start to grow. Be kind to yourself. Do that first. The other thing that you need to stop at all costs is to stop listening to all those negative people always telling you what you should be doing. Now, I'm going to go back quickly to the other lesson that I spoke about earlier on, and that is negative people. Negative people are literally vampires that will suck the lifeblood out of you. You need to get rid of negative people. If you don't, your self-talk will never change. The other important life lesson is that you will find that as soon as you start visualizing that new you, as soon as you start putting an image in your mind of how you would like to be in the future, as soon as you start putting in that image of how wonderful that new house is going to be, how many rooms there's going to be, how absolutely amazing it's going to be to have a nice barbecue, or in South Africa it's called a braai, on a Sunday afternoon on your patio. As soon as you start doing that, you will quickly realize that you become so discontent with the old. You will start realizing that this is pushing you further and further away into that new reality, which is actually a good thing. Just be aware that in this process, that you do not self-sabotage yourself. This is when self-sabotage can and probably will happen, because that discontentment is really awkward and awful. It actually cost me my job when I was in the process of going out of our corporate life into buying a small boat and crossing the Atlantic Ocean. So it's crucially important to remember that. That brings me to the other important lesson in life. And that lesson is that we should be authentic and we should try our utmost to be us, whatever that us is for you now. And you can bear in mind that if you follow this process, that us will over time change. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, be true to your beliefs. Be true to your perceptions, because that is your truth. It is important for us to realize that our beliefs make us. If you have beliefs of integrity, honesty, always trying to tell the truth, trying to help others whenever possible, cling to those, because those are important as we go through life. I always tell people, you need to remember, you wake up with yourself. I'm going to repeat that. You wake up with yourself. In other videos I'll also say that it's only us that we can blame for us. It's only us that become victims because of us. Now, in South Africa we also have a social grant system, like most countries have, I suppose. So when I went to go and get mine, it was like 2,000 Rand a month. I sat there and I answered all the questions honestly, because that's my belief and that's what I try and do. Now, because of my honesty, I was only given half of that social grant. Now, I got 980 Rand, which, if you're a South African, you will know you can't do anything with that kind of money. It's literally a week's food. So, you know what now? Should I be angry about that? I still wake up with myself each and every morning. And I know that I'm not a liar, and I know that I'm honest. And, you know, so be it. That is just the way it is. So yes, I am sacrificing by not lying, which I think is okay. The last thing that I want to leave you with is tenacity. This is absolutely crucially important. You need to be tenacious in this life and really go after what you want. Go for that image that you have put in here into the processing unit. Don't let anything hold you back. There's so many stories of miracles that will happen in your life. It's wonderful when you ask the universe something and it gives it to you in another way. When we were cruising, we were literally down to $4 in our pockets. We had no money. In the mornings we'll get into our little small rowing boat. It had an outboard engine, but we didn't have money for gas. So we'll row from one boat to the next, all sailing boats. And we'll knock on them and say, "Hi, good morning, would you like to buy bread?" We were literally selling in the Caribbean islands. Each morning we were selling fresh homemade bread so that we can get money. And through that process we came to a boat, and that boat helped us to start working on a private yacht, which was a 45-foot catamaran for an owner from Albany, New York. And we did chartering. We literally went from $4 to $1,000 within 1 week. Now, you should just believe in this life. We have a saying, myself, my wife, we say that whenever you throw your bread on the water, the universe will in another way give you hamburgers back. Enjoy your hamburger. Please like, subscribe and share. It has been my pleasure. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. And he says, bye-bye as well.